Hey y'all, welcome to Wydowhood with a why, where why is always the question. Thank you for joining me today. I have a little new setup. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to get my little background together.
I'm trying.
But anyway, without further ado, let's get to the video. So for today, why your self-worth is important. I don't think we talk about that enough. I think there are like a lot of talking heads and talking cues and things like that, but let's really dive into this. Let's really dive into the reason why therapy is needed, right? So I have a lot of notes here today, and I'm going to be reading a lot from this because I had a lot that I wanted to say. So what is self-worth? The Oxford definition says it's self-esteem, which I beg to differ, but we'll dive more into that. Google gives the breakdown that self-worth is the internal sense of being good enough and worth of love and belonging from others. That self-worth is often confused with self-esteem, which relies on external factors such as successes and achievements. Self-esteem is to define worth and can often be inconsistent, leading to someone struggling with feeling worthy. Okay, Google, okay. Well, I dove a little deeper because I wanted to continue to give you information and definitions from, resources that give an in-depth breakdown before I give you what my breakdown is. So I went to ThriveWork at thriveworks.com. No, this video is not being sponsored by them. And they say that self-worth is seen as a self-evaluation that is focused on internal beliefs and stable factors. Someone with high self-worth feels valuable and deserving or worthy of love, respect, and consideration. And I like that, right? Because, and I'm going to get into it deeper, but definitely love, respect, and consideration should definitely be high on the list, period, when it comes to self-worth. Self-esteem, on the other hand, refers to an individual's qualities and characters that are more fluid and subject to external factors. These are things like looks, right? Intelligence, clothes you wear, and so on. Like how big I am, am I too fat? Self-esteem drops if you're used to being thinner and you're bigger. Nonetheless, those things fall into the category in the realm of self-esteem. It says self-worth is rooted in one's overall appraisal of their value or capability. Some examples of self-worth include security, which is your sense of control over yourself and your environment. Definitely, your security. It also refers to resilience, which means you're able to bounce back from difficult situations. How many of us have been in a difficult situation you had to bounce back from? I know I have. Raise your hand for those in the back that didn't hear. Hello. The channel is called Wydowhood, right? Of course, the resilience. And when you have that resilience, it does something to you, because when you have to push so hard to bounce back from any difficult situation, it is branding you to become more than what you thought you were. So that is huge. Don't overlook that. And then lastly, it's a character, meaning you maintain a moral high ground and always try to do the right thing. That's very important. All of these are equally important. Character is something I tell my children, your character of who you are, that represents who you are when you go out into the world. What do you stand on? Who are you when no one's looking? That's your actual character. As a child, if I saw someone drop a wallet, I wasn't the kind of kid, and I knew then it's not right morally to take it and run off. I would pick it up and chase after that person. Hey, sir, ma'am, you dropped your wallet. I'm not expecting something in return. When people do good deeds, they always do it with the expectation that they are going to get something in return. I feel as though do it because it's good character without expecting something. And if you do get something, that's a cherry on top, right? That's a cherry on top, but don't do it to expect something. The only source I expect something from, because he gave me a promise, is the Most High, the Creator himself. That's it. That's it. So my personal thoughts on self-worth is the treatment of yourself from yourself first and from others. Period. The non-acceptance or tolerance of disrespect, whether verbally or physically, from a parent, a sibling, a child, a spouse, or a friend. No one should be in your realm that's going to figure that they can tear you down in any capacity. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am not the one for that. And the more tragedy that I've endured in my life, the less tolerance I have for it. I've shared with you before, I have lost a child. I've buried a child, I've buried a husband, and I've recently just buried a sister. I have less tolerance for any type of disrespect. Your self-worth, this is for me, is the identity of how you see yourself in the world. How do you see you? When you're stepping out into the world, even when you're coming home and you're alone, how do you see you? Do you take the time to look in the mirror and understand who you are? It's very important to do that. This matters in workplaces, at home, coffee shops, libraries, wherever your presence is. It will always matter until your presence is no longer here, living. This is not to be confused with how you present yourself, as that's just a representative of yourself. And some people put up a falsehood of morality when pretending to be something that they are not. People will pretend to have good character. Some people can have resilience, and some people can have, a sense of security, but cannot have good character. So their self-worth somewhere is tarnished. And that's not for me to figure out or you to figure out. That's for them to figure out. You focus on you. Fill your oil in your lamp. Those who know, know. As I've said before, your self-worth is attached to the identity of who you truly are. If you don't see yourself as trash or scum, then you should never allow anyone to treat you as such. If you don't see yourself as an idiot or stupid, then you should never allow anyone to treat you as such. If you don't see yourself as worthless, do not allow anyone to treat you as such. I can't stress that enough. Because when you do allow it, it's a tear down of your self-worth and your self-esteem. They do go hand in hand. They're not the same thing. The one is internal, one is external. Self-esteem being external, self-worth being internal. But they do go hand in hand. I'm gonna give y'all a story time. I remember being in a relationship with the guy that I love. Our relationship started off fine. But after a few years, I noticed he was a bit more distant from me, both mentally and emotionally, right? Even socially. And now I know what most of you may be thinking. No, he wasn't cheating, right? Even though that wasn't the case, I noticed from said guy that when I showed him a level and a high level, I showed those around me a high level of love and respect, it wasn't reciprocated the same way. Did I have an expectation? Most definitely. We should all have expectations of how we know we should be treated. It should not be less than. If we're in a relationship, I should get that. You know, he had his way of doing things, and I gave him that space to do so. You know, who am I to step on your toes? You know, be great. But when it comes to us, with a circle of trust and love and friendship and respect, it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Now, I wasn't showing the love and respect to him just so I could have it reciprocated back. It's just good character. You know? And I won't tolerate any type of ignorance or disrespect in my life. Not at all. But I refuse to belittle myself. And it's not out of pride. But what it is out of is the knowledge of my self-worth. So I hope this helps someone out there. I felt the need to do a video like this. It was like calling in my spirit, because I know there are young women out there that put up with a lot of BS in relationships to where you don't have to. That's why it's so important. And I've always told myself, and I've told my friends, focus on you first. What is your self-worth? Just because my channel is called Widowhood, it doesn't mean I'm just only talking to widows. I'm talking to women, period. I took the time when I was 15 years old to really build my self-worth. It took a lot of work, and it's daily. It's not like as though I built it then and I'm no longer building it now. It's daily. My representation of myself in this short life that I will live matters most to me, because my representation is my self-worth. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. I am spunky and funny and curious and weird and all of that, all at the same time, and also all at different times, because there's a place and time for everything. But one thing I don't yield on, I don't bend on, is how you treat me, and what my self-worth is. And I don't care how old you are, I don't know who's listening to this. You shouldn't go for it either. This is a little joke that I found. Oh, it was funny to me. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying.
I'm trying.
Okay. Newspaper ad. Okay. Rich widow looking for man to share life and fortune with. The following qualifications. 1, won't beat me up. 2, won't run away. And 3, has to be great in bed. For several months, her phone rang off the hook. Her doorbell was ringing constantly. She received tons of mail, all to no avail. None of the men seemed to meet her qualifications. Then one day, the doorbell rang yet again. She opened the door to find a man with no arms and no legs lying on the welcome mat. Perplexed, she said, "Who are you and what do you want?" "Hi," said the man, "your search is over, for I am the man of your dreams. I've got no arms, so I can't beat you up. And I've got no legs, so I can't run away." The old woman asked, "What makes you think you're great in bed?" To which he replied, "I rang the doorbell, didn't I?"
God have mercy upon us.
Anyway, that was funny to me. I just wanted to share it with you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And until next time, bye.